Welcome back, my passive income investors. I like to incorporating in Canada. We are going to go through the step-by-step guide, including how much I paid along the way, driving it all the way down to the exact conversation I had with my accountant that pushed me over the edge into the process of incorporating my business. And then I'm going to show you the end results, including my stock market portfolio, along with how I'm going to be producing income in these tax-advantaged ways. So in the clarity of my transparency and the fact that this was 3 months in the making to bring all of this together for you, I'd appreciate it if you just helped by hitting that like button, because this is free, real valuable information, folks. So to kick all of this off, we got to start off with a conversation with my accountant that literally led me down this process. So zooming out, I actually copied this and just pasted it right into this text document, and it's regarding the sole proprietorship versus incorporating. Now, keep in mind, I am a self-employed person living in Ontario, Canada. By province to province, this is going to be slightly different. So you may want to speak with your own accountant, because this is not financial advice. I'm just some kid, millennial, living in his parents' basement, okay? Just trying to save some money here. But currently, being an entrepreneur, self-employed, I'm working under a sole proprietor, which means I make money in my own name, I have to pay full tax, and it's going to kind of get explained right here. A sole proprietor, as my accountant explains, with a profit of $100,000, let's presume I made $100,000 this year, I will have an income tax owing of $24,210. And we have to include CPP, which is the Canadian pension plan. That is what they use for your retirement. In the US, it's very similar to Social Security, and you're gonna have to pay about $5,000 on that $100,000 earned, which means the total I would have to pay would be $28,210, leaving me with what, a leftover $72,000 for every $100,000 that I make. Now let's presume that I incorporate. Well, according to him, corporations where you were to draw a salary of $50,000 because you pay yourself out of the business, so let's say you made $100,000, I paid myself $50,000, left the rest in the business. Here's how that tax breakdown might look. A salary income tax cost would be $8,799. So on the $50,000 I paid myself, and keep in mind, I can choose how much I pay myself, and a CPP of approximately $5,000 would be a total of $13,799. Now this is where things get interesting, because the leftover profit that I'm leaving in the account would be about $45,000, with a corporate rate currently of 3.2%, would sit you around $1,440 in the tax owing for the money you left in the corporation, which, keep in mind, I can move into a trading account, a corporate investment account, and further make capital on that at a super reduced tax rate. But bringing all of that together, if I paid myself a $50,000 salary, I had $45,000 left over after paying the Canadian pension plan, I would have only paid $15,239 on the same $100,000 for the difference between a sole proprietor and an incorporated business. So again, $15,239 against $28,210, a total savings of $18,000. You can self-employed make six figures, which is exactly where I'm sitting. This isn't a very appropriate step for me, and this is what led me through this process. So getting right into this, you're going to come to a website called incorporationpro.ca. You're going to scroll all the way down to where you see Nuance Report. I had no idea what this was until my accountant explained it, but when you're incorporating, you need to have a name that not only somebody else hasn't used, but follows the rules and regulations of what you're allowed to call your business. And you're going to go through this process of clicking your jurisdiction, and you're going to go through, and what you want to do is be very careful here, because they're going to try and charge you for all kinds of stuff, like name changes and like just going through some registry stuff. What you want to do is just select the base rate, because that's what I did, and I'm going to show you in a sec what I paid here, but you're just going to walk through this literally one by one. You want the regular 3-day queue business, because you can wait 3 business days, save yourself $15. You're going to write the name that you want to search and the suffix. Now make sure whatever name you're writing is unique, it's original to you, and it's clean. It's not dirty by any means. There's no like weird saying like get rich quick or something like that, depending on what you're doing. And then you're going to want to obviously use the Inc. suffix, because you want to be incorporated here, guys, by saying like ABC 1, 2, 3 is the business, and we'll say Inc. We'll say new incorporation. Describe the activities of your business. For me, I put social media and website management. Maybe we'll just do that the same for now, just to show you what's going on here. Now, getting into this step, guys, this is where you want to be careful, because you do not need this stuff. Avoid conflict, including pre-search. No, you just want a regular report, okay? A legal name review by specialists. No, you don't need somebody to actually legally review your name. Get rid of all of that. And then you can go into the final preview and then just wait the 3 days. You should get the incorporation paper in the email, and that's what you're going to need for the next step. The total I paid for this was literally, I don't want to show you guys the too much information here, but in my email, I paid $21.47 to get through this process. So once that's done, you're going to take those articles that you now have of the incorporated name, guys, and you're going to go to a website called owner.co. So this is a load amount of work. I'm just going to start you off with the basics, and you're going to have to walk through this one step at a time, signing all the paperwork. But obviously we're going to click Canada. We're going to be in Ontario, and we are registering a new business, of course. And what we're going to say here is your business structure. We want an incorporation. We don't want a sole proprietorship. So you're going to select that. And then you're going to go through, because this is where you're going to include what the name was called that you started. And you're going to hit submit, and you're going to start this process. This is also going to take a little bit of time. And the best part that I liked about this website is, unlike many of the other ones, they have almost 24-hour support. You can just open up the little side tag here, send them a bit of a message, and then they're going to obviously reply to you for any issues you're going to have. I ran into issues, unfortunately, and it took a little bit longer, but between each step here, guys, you're going to be waiting about 3 to 5 business days. And sometimes if there's issue, it could take up to a month, because just to get through this next hurdle literally took me an entire month. But then you're going to end up with all of these documents here, and this is just everything that you're going to need to prove out that you're incorporated. So your Ontario initial return, shareholder resolution, you're even going to have shares in your own business, which is super cool because you can sell your shares at a given rate. Just really awesome stuff. You got your articles of incorporation, your bylaws, etc., etc. Said and done, the amount that you're going to end up paying for this process, guys, I paid $637. Tack on the extra 25 or so that I paid. You know, we're sitting right around $660 in total to incorporate thus far. But now what we have to do is take the articles of incorporation, take the business name, and what we need to do now is go open up a bank account, a corporate bank account that you are going to funnel all of your money through. And it's really neat because when actually you go through this approval process, guys, you're going to get a client business card, which I think is super cool because it should have your corporate name on it. Let me cover these up. If I can cover this up, I'll show it to you because it's really cool, guys, because it says passive income investor on it, which is my corporate name, which I think is just super cool. But yeah, so what you're going to do is take those to a bank. You're just going to set up the meeting and say, hey guys, I'm going to set up a corporate account and I want to set up a corporate investment account, a stock trading account. This is where things get really convoluted, and I'm going to promise you, you're just going to want to sit down with them and do this step by step. You do not need the accountant per se, but you may want an accountant for one step, okay? If you go on to direct investing with RBC, you don't have to use RBC. It says, I need to invest for my business, and you're going to click open an account. What you're not going to do is walk through the actual process of opening up a corporate account. Don't do that because you can't do it through the online portal. I thought you could. Turns out you can't. What you're going to need to do is take the paperwork that they're giving you by going into this part of the RBC account. And I'm going to show you one of those documents right here. This is the one that's most important. You may want to get your accountant to overlook this document. It's called Declaration of Tax Residence for Entities, Part XIX of the Income Tax Act. This is the only document that I didn't fully understand, and even the lady at the bank said, just get your accountant to look at this one and just make sure you don't screw this one up. So he filled out this for me, sent it back at no charge. Super awesome accountant, guys. And then I went into the bank. You don't really need to fill out the rest of them on your own because I literally had to go through each individual one. It took over an hour, guys, and then we had to send all of these documents off with the articles of incorporation to finalize the account, which also took about 3 to 5 business days to open. So that literally is every little step of the way you're going to have to go. So make sure you have these printed off and in your hand because the bank will take them from you, but the bank will print anything else off and show you exactly what you have to do. You do not need lawyers to do this. You do not need very expensive accountants to do this. In fact, I'm going to show you exactly how much this is going to cost once it's all said and done and open, because it doesn't cost anything to open up the corporate bank account or the investment account. There might be some monthly or yearly fees associated with it, but they're nominal. I think I pay $5 a month for the corporate account in total. But Where things get very expensive, guys, is if you are not good at doing your own taxes. I do all of my own tracking of my income and expenses, which makes my taxes much more reduced because I do most of the work for the accountant at the end of the year. But for a corporate account, guys, it's going to cost you about $600 to $700. That's what my accountant is charging me to do my corporate accounting at the end of the year. And I still have to file regular income at the end of the year as well, which I'm going to pay about $200 for, which is what I paid him that I showed you a little bit earlier on. So combined now to do your taxes will be roughly around $1,000 for me personally as a self-employed person in Canada. But that $1,000, guys, if I make 100,000, saving me 18, and that isn't even the bare minimum scratching the surface yet, because let's presume that I can live on 20 or 30,000 a year, and I can use my corporation to write off most of my living expenses, because let's presume my internet, my car, a lot of my traveling, sometimes eating out is all done for corporate means. I can use the business as an expense and not have to pay myself that as an income salary that I would have had to use to cover that expense. I know that's a little convoluted and confusing, but if you can just reduce what you pay yourself as a salary down to 30,000, guys, I'm going to be saving myself a heck of a lot more. Finally, I'm living the Canadian dream I wanted to have, which was living at an incredibly reduced tax rate, a legal reduced tax rate. Take that reduced tax income, put it in an investment account where I can trade, buy stocks, have fun at an incredibly reduced rate, and any of that money I make, well, I can just choose to live off of it how I please and pay myself within means that will reduce the tax to the minimal amount I'll ever have to pay. And like I said, guys, this isn't me being greedy. This is just the reality of how the rich continue to get richer in Canada. And if you guys really appreciate this, because I'm getting beat up in my corporate tax account right now because I had to buy Tesla and Facebook, I had to shift some companies around. And the cool thing about this is if I build this account up over time, becomes worth, say, six figures, millions of dollars, it removes the liability, because now if somebody sues me for personal reasons, they can't touch what's in the corporate account. If for some reason I end up going through a divorce, I'm not married, but if I get married down the road, this separates it from my personal liability. Unfortunately, that wasn't true for Jeff Bezos, but I don't live in the US, so it's unfortunate for him. But if you guys appreciate what I am showing you here, because this is just the start, and I'm going to be doing updates periodically, including how much tax I actually end up paying at the end of the year with this incorporated business, consider subscribing. And if you'd like to support and you appreciate what I'm doing here for free, guys, I want to keep making content like this, so consider supporting me over at my Patreon, where if you want, you can come here, personally ask me. I add you to a WhatsApp group, and you can literally ask me, and I'll send you my corporate investment accountant, because the guy's really affordable, really awesome. But only if you support me through Patreon, you can ask me for some extra perks, maybe help you out. But in light of all this, stay cool, stay awesome, folks. I look forward to catching you tomorrow.